afternoon. Welcome to Cozy Up and Pay Attention, the parent edition. I say it every week. If you're looking at this face, it's 2 o'clock and the show is about to begin. What we do here is bring parents on to offer some opinion, suggestions on how they're raising their children. And if you find something that works for you, please feel free to use it. My guest this afternoon is going to be Jenn Phillips, mom of four. And take a deep breath, but don't hold it. We'll be right back.
Cozy Stone is a multi-talented comedian extraordinaire who has a real lust for life. She also combines humor and motivation, where she is known as a humorvational speaker. Her youthful ways and positive light make her a beacon for those of all ages. Cozy has lived a remarkable life that has paved the way for so many. She had the longest running open mic venue of 11 years at Tommy Rockers in Vegas, called Cozy's Comedy Corner, through which she introduced many up-and-coming comedians. Before going into comedy, she was one of the first female personal trainers and one of the top fitness trainers in the world. She has trained many greats such as Billie Jean King, Roberta Flack, Andrew Young, Ed Bradley, CCH Pounder, Al Pacino, and Earl Monroe. As a former competitive bodybuilder, she also owned a bodybuilding gym for women over 40 in Los Angeles for several years. She has worked in top positions for HBO, Playboy, and Tony Robbins. She also enjoys volunteer work, dedicating time to the New York Foundling Hospital and babies with AIDS. Cozy Stone has a message that shouldn't be missed.
Welcome back. And my guest, Jenn Phillips, should be appearing now. Presto magic. There she is. Yeah.
Hey, Cozy, how you doing?
Oh, you sound like a man. He's got a sore throat.
Yes, it's. I think it's turning into laryngitis, so we'll see how this goes today.
Oh, yeah. We better get these 30 minutes done.
Right.
Before we get started, I like to always say to the audience, again, it's a show about parenting. First and foremost, everyone knows that parenting doesn't come with a manual or best practices for what you should teach them. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. And more importantly, or just as importantly, this show has nothing to do with parent shaming. I don't know you. I don't know whether you're doing your job at night or not until I watch the news. Then the whole story comes out. So we're trying to have your kids on the news for great accomplishments and not for sentencing. With that in mind, Miss Phillips, give me and the audience an idea of where were your parents raised and born? Where did their background come from?
So my parents are both Midwesterners. Dad was from Michigan, mom was from Ohio, born and raised. They both decided to go in the military. And so their parents were married the whole time, several siblings on both sides. My one set of grandparents were married for like 65 years. And my other grandparents for probably 45 because maybe 50 because grandpa died. And so, there was marriages is a big thing and raising children together. My parents, one had a mom that stayed home and one had a mom that went to work. My mom was at home with my brother and I, and my dad was in the military. And so we traveled all over the world until I graduated high school.
Military brats.
Yes, we were.
All right, but even with military brats, it has nothing to do with their raising you. How old, if you know, probably you do, how old were your parents when they gave birth? Are there more than one of you? Do you have siblings?
There's two of us.
Okay. Are you the oldest?
Yes.
All right. How old were your parents when they had their first child, being you?
Mom was 20 when I was born.
Okay.
And dad was also 20.
All right. And so you were born where?
I was born in Nebraska.
Wow. That's right. That's the question since they are traveling parents.
Yes.
How long did you stay in Nebraska? I get to ask that since now I know you were a roving child.
2 years max. My brother was born, and then we left shortly after that. My mom got out of the service, and we left.
All right, so let me try to hone in here. Where did you spend your Wonder Bread years? Your Wonder Bread years. You know what Wonder Bread years are usually 4 to 12.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, all over Cozy, because like it went from Nebraska to Texas to Florida to England to Ohio to what's that place called? California to the Azores
Okay.
to
All
Cleveland.
right. All
So
right.
it was all over.
All right. So now I have an idea of your parents' background. With all of this traveling, where did you meet your husband? Which city? Which state?
So we were in Ohio. That's where I graduated high school and college,
Okay.
and that's where we met.
Okay. And is there such a thing? I've heard of a love at first sight. I've never experienced it. So I'm not going to ask you if it was love at first sight, but you had children with him.
I did.
What were some of the qualities that he had, or did you consider some of the qualities he had that you'd like to have in your children?
No.
Women don't do that, huh?
No, you know what? I lied.
Okay.
I did say this. I had zero background in drug use experience, and he did. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. Our kids end up middle school, high school. He'll know what's going on because I won't have a clue.
That's not what I meant, but I take it.
That was the only thing. That was the only thing that I could look at that I did. I actually consciously thought about that.
Wow. All right. So my next question is really going to be maybe easy for you. We meet men, every one of us women, they meet us. You decide you want to spend some time, have babies, get married to them. Beauty, brawn, or body? What was one of the three, or all of the three, that attracted you to him? We're all attracted by sight.
I thought he was cute.
Okay.
I thought he was cute when I saw him. Yeah.
So you got 4 kids. So the oldest is 23, the youngest is 14. Mm-hmm. So let's start right now with your oldest, or maybe your first 3. Were they planned or unplanned?
So they were a mixture of both. When I got married, I'm like, I don't need to be on birth control anymore. Let's see what happens. Right. And so it was planned, but then it didn't come together the way we wanted.
Well, but you were married.
We were married already. We were married already.
All right.
Yeah. And then Nicholas, the second one, he was I'm pregnant. And it was really fast after we had our daughter.
And you were how old when you had your first child?
22.
Okay. Wow.
And then the third one, I had been on birth control and we intentionally got off of it.
Okay.
And then the fourth one, same thing, and had been on birth control and intentionally got off of it.
All right, but when I'm talking to a mom or husband, whomever my guest is, and they got married, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You know, it's not unplanned because you're deciding to build a life together.
No.
Is that fair?
True that.
All right. So then you have your child. Doctor tells you, we're going to stick with this first one because the first one is the most important. He comes to you and says, yes, Mrs. Phillips, you're pregnant. Do you feel fear or fantasy?
Probably a fantasy. I had told my husband I wanted to have 12 kids. So, yeah, probably a fantasy. Like, we're starting early and let's get this going. And
okay. Your significant other, your husband, we all come from different backgrounds, no matter who we are, we get together, unless we do incest, and we know that's not best. What were some of the differences? I should say that out loud, didn't I? What were some of the differences in the upbringings? Did you actually sit down, as you said did you really sit down and say to him, well, you know about drugs, so when our kids become teenagers?
God, no, I thought that.
All right, so were there anything that you did look at each other and say, this happened in my life as a child, I didn't like it, or I did, and he may have said the same thing? That's a common fact.
One of the big things was that he grew up very similar to me. He grew up military also, and he had an older brother, And so the big thing was that his brother got stuff, got a car, got a replacement car, and he didn't.
Okay.
And so looking at our children, that was something he wanted to make sure that they were provided for. Me, on the other hand, I was in scouts. I was involved in church. I was involved in sports. He was not. And so when
Okay.
it came to raising the kids, I wanted those things for my kids. And he was kind of like, yeah, whatever. If you'll take them, fine. Don't make me be involved.
Wow.
You know, that kind of a thing. He would
All right.
show up, but it wasn't, when we got divorced, it was all bets were off. But while we were married, he was supportive of that.
Okay. So this question, and you, I guess my question, without asking this question, is: did you stay together? Well, you obviously stayed together through the 14-year-old. You parented until how long ago? Together till how long?
2012 was when we separated.
And your youngest was how old?
He was almost 4, not even 4 yet.
Okay. All right. And so that makes your 20-year-olds teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you've
Yeah,
got
middle school age.
Wow. So now you've got two separate households with two, I'm going to ask, separate rules.
Yeah. Expectations for sure.
All right. So when they come back home, they were somewhat a little different than they were when you sent them.
For sure.
That must be kind of different. Now, yes, you had him, you had each other. Mm-hmm. Did you have relatives, his side, your side, that was also part of the support system of raising the children?
His mom was significant to that.
Was she a disciplinarian?
Not really.
Okay. Wow. That makes it difficult as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got married, you met this gentleman, decided he's the one. I guess that's what that word is, the one. Decided to plan a family with him. What were 3 things? This may be repetitive, but it's not. Let's see if you hear it differently. What were 3 things you considered? Let's stick with your first child. Before that first child came out of your womb, what were 3 things that went through your mind?
I knew that we would be okay financially.
Okay.
Like stability was okay.
Right.
At that time, my family was closer, but my mom and my relationship wasn't all that great. But I'm like, he's my life. He's my family. So that was like a second thing. And I'll go wherever you want to go. And,
yeah, but follow me here. You're bringing a human being, a baby human being, another person into the world. You know, my audience who's watching or has watched, and those who know me know I just didn't want to do this thing called birthing. And I thought about all these things in my head and decided, look, no, that's not going to work for me. So I'm always curious when I talk to parents, father and mother, what were some of the things? And that goes along with the question I asked earlier about fear or fantasy. And let me give you an example. And I'm going to say this, and please no one be offended. Some teenage girls, because they didn't plan it, most of them, and they want a baby. And they want to dress it up, and they think they're having a little play toy.
Okay, so
we're gonna do. That's what I meant.
Okay, so for me, it was I wanted a big family, and so the sooner I would have them, the younger I would be. I could participate with their lives. Okay. But I wanted a big family because I have one brother, and that's it. And I watched my dad's family, who's one of 6, and he's got relationships, some better than others, but he's got multiple siblings to go to and go, okay, you know what? If we're on the outs, I got another one to check in with. My mom's got 2 other siblings, and so there was still a little bit of that. It's just me and my brother.
Okay.
So I really wanted that. I wanted a big family because I wanted big family support and create that. And so for me, I had Lexi while I was in college my senior year. And I don't remember having any specific thoughts other than like, you're married, this is what you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me stop it. Wow. So, as you were being raised by your parents, as we all were raised by parents, they yak 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 in our ear, the nag, the constant do, which as we got older and now we are grown, we realized they were saying it for our betterment,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something that you you kept to heart. And I'm asking you, what were one or two that you now have carried on that you say these words to your children?
Do you see the fire in my eyes? Like,
Okay.
um, I think I've done the money doesn't grow on trees stuff.
Okay.
Um, family is everything. Family is everything. Family is everything. Like, be there, be there, be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then hopefully when they have their family, they'll, I'll be gone. I won't be able to interview them and they'll say the same thing. Because we do realize as we mature, kids are not married or not, we become our parents. And as we thought they were nagging us and being a pain, or let's see, keep it at nag, it was always to make us a better person. It was
Right.
being that it's repetition being the mother of learning.
Right.
So if I repeat it enough, even if you think you don't hear it 13, 14, and 15, by 25, 26, by the time
Right.
you're a parent, you'll say, oh my God, I sound just like my mother. Or
Oh,
they've all,
yes.
right? So that's why I asked that question. All right, so let's get into your choice questions. And the first one that you're going to respond to is how much, well, pretty much what you just said, how much of your parents, the word, parentheses, disciplines did you use? And you can take any and all of your four.
So, when my children were younger, we did do some of the handwriting. Like, I was forced as a child to write, I will not call my brother stupid, and I will not say shut up. Those were the two big ones. I
Wow.
still don't like stupid, and I still don't like shut up. And I did make my children write sentences at one point. I'm not sure. I don't think I ever did soap in the mouth. I don't think we ever had to do. Yes, I lied. I did. It was a tiny bar I like bought at Old Town in San Diego, and I kept it in the car. You can't talk nice. We're washing that out. And so I did. I kept a bar of soap in the car. Um, what other disciplines? My mom only hit me once
Okay.
across the face at 16 years old. Never talked back again. Never had talked back before. So really didn't have that problem. Oh, dad trashing my room. So he trashed my room because I wouldn't clean it up. You want a mess? You want something to cry about? Here's something to cry about. Trash. I'm pretty sure I've done that
Okay.
to my kids at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. The next question you're going to answer. Give me 3 responsibilities that you think a parent should have. And I know there's zillions of them. That's right. What are 3 of yours?
For me, I want to make sure that I am creating a person that will be self-sustaining, productive member of society. And so for me, it's, does kindness fit in there? Well, yeah, they're not productive if they're an asshole. Like they're, like how good is that to the community? If you're not a productive member of society, like people don't want to be around you. You can't keep a job, So for me, that was my big thing. You need to be a productive member of society and self-sustaining. And so I've taught my children to be very independent.
Yes.
And that's very important to me.
Very good. So we shouldn't see yours on the news for anything but accomplishments, huh?
Yes.
That's the goal, huh?
Right.
Okay. The next question. Oh, you picked everything with 3s in it. 3 disciplines you enforce. So I guess some of them would be some of the things. So what I have here and put my parentheses is eating, hygiene, bed, making the bed, cell phone use, computer use. You can take one of those or some of those, 3 of them. Which ones are you enforcing?
Take off your door when you're a jerk. If I need to remove your door from your room, you don't get privacy anymore. I've done that to both of my older boys. If I need to, I've removed their door.
I like that.
Like,
I don't know what it is about removing doors, but it's just the first time I ever heard it, I was so impressed. Go ahead. Moving
Yeah,
the door.
we're moving
Okay.
the door. I mean the normal stuff, taking away the X. Oh, so I did this recently. I took away the Xbox and I disconnected everything and then hid it. And so he wasn't able to go find it and put it back together because he didn't know where it was.
And what did what behavior did he show to merit that action from you?
He wasn't doing what I asked him to do. He was supposed to help me with dishes, help me with keeping the house clean, whatever it was, and he was just he also started to play dad against mom. Started playing that game. Like, oh, you want to play that game? You know what?
Okay.
You can play that game, and now you're not going to play Xbox because that's the game you want to play. So, yeah. Yeah. So then I had, the third one. Okay. My one son was vaping in his senior year in high school. I would take the vape juice and dump it out and refill it with water.
Did you ask him not to and tell him what?
I told him not to multiple times, but when I went in his room to go look for something that he asked me to go in his room for, and I found his stuff.
But let me ask, did you sit down, look him in the face, and say, this is why I'm asking not to do it? Are we beyond that because I said so, parenting stage?
I had talked to him. Maybe I didn't sit down with him specifically like you just said. I talked to him multiple times over a long period of time. And I also let him know if he wants to continue that behavior, he's welcome to not live with me.
Wow.
And that was before his 18th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow, Jen. I want to come to your classroom. Do you run your classrooms like you run your house?
Not as strict.
Right. Yeah, because the parents would beat you up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does your child, wait a minute, which question is number? I'm looking at somebody else's answers, Cozy. Jen is 20. Okay, so here's similar to what we just answered. What are your thoughts on cleaning their room? Pick one. Cleaning the room, education, and respect. And respect you already covered. Okay. You are an educator. Tell me.
All right, so fine. I'll go on education. I do not think that every kid needs to go to college. Right. I do not have a college savings plan for my kids. I pay for my own. You want to go, you pay for your own. Your job is school. Now, I really don't care. So this was my 21-year-old now. He was the one that I was going to vape the vapor. And I'm like, you just need that piece of paper. I don't even care. I said, I need the piece of paper because you are not living in my house and you need a job. And if you don't have a diploma, you are going to be so sunk. It's not even funny. And I personally, like, I graduated with honors. I graduated with college. All kinds of things. Their dad didn't. And so it was very diametrically opposite when it came to what's valued in education. And I'm at the point right now, when they entered middle school, I did what I could to incentivize, but it would be backhanded by their dad. And so it's like, you know what? This is what I do now. If you have no missing assignments, then I'm good. Your grades are what they are. And if you have no missing assignments, no beef with me. If your grades are a C or a D and you have no missing assignments and you did your best, I'm good. I'm not going to be on your case about it because you've done your work. You have missing assignments, we got a problem.
Okay. And again, as an educator, I have to hit this. I understand the missing assignments, saying they put some effort towards it.
Yeah.
But they didn't put a lot of effort towards it if they're getting C's and D's. And you said that was okay with you.
For me, you're right, we're gonna go there. I teach in the public education system. I think it's crap. So what are they spending their time on? Stupid assignments that don't mean anything. My kid during COVID, my one is a boot camp, and he was online for a year, looked every answer up on Google and got straight A's.
No.
So really? Yes. And then fourth quarter of the year before when they were home, he already had straight A's. So they just copied him over. He did nothing for 9 weeks. So seriously, public education, it's crap. Get your diploma and get the fuck out. Like, sorry. That's my feeling right now. If you want to go to college, then you surely better behave, do your job, and get good grades. If you don't want to, I'm not going to fight you on it anymore. That's my position as a parent. I'm not fighting you anymore about you doing your job. It's not worth it. I don't have your dad's support on it. And then I'm in trouble with him. Like, I'm out.
Wow. So you are one of those parents that actually say those words. If you don't want to continue your education, you need to get out of here and just go ahead and go on and be an adult. Whatever
Yes.
that means, because that was your choice.
Yes.
So right now you said you have 2 in boot camp, correct?
One in boot camp.
1 in boot camp. What is the 23-year-old out the house?
She lives with her dad full time. She goes to college.
Okay.
And whatever agreement they have is what they have. She hasn't lived with me since she graduated high school.
So you only have what? How many in the house now? Just the 14-year-old?
Like 1.5. Yeah.
14-year-olds in your house.
Every other week.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So to recap, you are very disciplined. I love that. You say what you mean and mean what you say. Your kids do not think you're a joke. And you have taken your parenting as serious as anyone who gave birth. And you said the magic words earlier, to raise responsible adults for society. And here's the question. You did it. You showed it by action. Here, I want to know if you said those words. You need to be responsible adults for society. You need to get good grades and/or continue your education so that you can take care of yourself. You need to grow up, and I'll let you stay around as long as you're contributing even to the household. Did you ever say those words?
I don't think I ever said those words. I believe I said contributing member of society. Like, that's my job, is to make sure you're prepared for that. Okay. My dad gave me a Peanuts cartoon when I graduated high school. And it was the one where Woodstock's being kicked out of the nest and you don't need to come back, kind of a one. And I'm like, okay then. And so that's kind of what I've taken with my parents. Was it said to me, you graduate high school, you don't get to live here? No. I was told if I go to college, I could. But I was not given this impression that I was welcome to stay for any length of time. And so that's kind of what I've let my kids know. Like,
then you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly, it's come full circle. That needs to be said with love, but with certainty. It's I love you, but I'd love to come visit in your house. I'd like you to make me a dinner. I would love you to take me on vacation. Right. Well, okay, Ms. Jenn Phillips, you have done, I like your answers. And as I tell every parent that comes on here, they're all the right answers because they're yours. Let's get to this fun question that you made. Here's your fun question. I changed them all, but I sent them to you, but you still don't know which one I was going to ask you. So I stuck with your number 3, and here's the new number 3 fun question. Jenn Phillips, what cartoon character would you like to be for a week?
Oh man, I want to be Jessica Rabbit. Like, that's not even hard. I want to be Jessica Rabbit. That's what I want to be.
Jessica Rabbit wasn't a cartoon character.
Yes, she is. She was Roger Rabbit's wife, and she's totally a cartoon. All right, fine, Betty Boop. Like, I want to be one of those girls.
Why? And let's go back to Jessica. Let's go back to Jessica. That's your answer. I don't want you changing your answer.
Oh God, I love her.
What would you do? Oh, wait a minute. Here's the compound. What would you do as Jessica Rabbit for a week, Jenn?
Oh man, I would just walk around and strut my stuff and get noticed, and I don't even know, have people take me out to dinner, and go to shows and have a good time. Which is funny because I don't drink or gamble or.
But Jessica does.
I'm pretty sure she might. So yeah.
So you want to be an arm piece, a beautiful, gorgeous, well taken care of arm piece.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm glad I checked. I don't even remember what the other 3 was, but the new ones are more fun. So you're the first one that got to answer that question. I want to thank you for taking your time and bringing your man voice onto my show. I hope you go find some apple cider vinegar and salt. That generally does it for me. I do hope you feel better. Did you enjoy
This was wonderful. This is wonderful, Cozy. I think that what you're doing here, allowing parents to speak their mind freely, and share what we're doing. I think parenting today is hard.
Yeah.
Parenting today is really hard, and without having a tribe of people and support to
Yes.
make these tough decisions,
Mhm.
parenting's very hard.
Right. And some, they've given our children the impression they're entitled. I don't know if some parents are afraid of their kids. I think some of them may be, or afraid they won't love them. But it's hard to have a kid love you when he's starving. Don't feed him.
Right?
Yeah, there are various ways to get his love, and I say that jokingly, people. Yeah, they probably think I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. I would have been, but I preferred my freedom, and my freedom was not going to jail. So here I am.
There you go.
Once again, I thank you. I appreciate you. Society appreciates you doing your best. Again, for your kids not becoming a consensus in a bad way. I hope your children understand and appreciate the love and the time and concern that you give them. I did. Some parents, some kids don't. And that's why I said to you, try just talking to them. They're grown-ups. They're human beings. They understand English. Yeah. It's okay. I think it's okay to break down the why. Our parents said, because I said so. Well, give me a little bit more information.
Yeah.
Give them something that sticks to make them say, oh, I didn't look, because they're young. They don't know the consequences. They don't readily know the accountability. That is also part of our job as adults and as parents. This is what's going to happen when you do blah, blah, blah. Now, if you're okay with that, fine. But there are certain things that you can't be okay with, because as you said, you want them out your house. So you can be okay once you're in your own home. But I'm going to do my best to build you and give you all the tools necessary so that when you do get out there, you may trip a little bit, but you don't completely fall. Is that fair?
That is totally fair, because that's actually, I'm like, if you get in trouble when you're young and I'm still your safety net, that's fine. But when you get out there and you go to jail, like,
Right.
game over, guys. Like, your whole life has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So folks that are watching, have watched, I appreciate you. Don't know who you are, but I'm going to say thank you anyway. As I say every week, please share and tell other parents if you've learned something or gotten something out of it. I'm also interested in having parents or people, not parents, men and women who've never had children. I think we're also a part of society that should not be overlooked or downplayed, because we are people who consciously made a decision, and we, like myself, are giving back to children and society in so many other ways. My email is cozyupandpayattention@gmail.com. Again, we can all stand to learn from each other, and I believe that when you know better, you do better. So please, again, share the show. I will be back here, unless God knows something I know, next Tuesday, 2 o'clock. Today we're at 4 o'clock because Miss Jenn is a school teacher, so we accommodated her classroom schedule. 2 o'clock next Tuesday. Thank you. Have a great evening. And Jenn, I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Saturday is the girls' day out. Are you going?
No, I can't go. I've got a workshop.
All right. I'll see you soon. We'll get together.
Yes.
All right. Good night, everyone.